A strange new world. Zaxlor was nervous. His small green hands shook as he looked out the window of his tiny spaceship. The blue and green planet called Earth grew bigger and bigger. This was his first big job as a space diplomat. He had to make friends with the humans and ask them to join the Galactic Confederation. "Don't mess this up," he told himself. His antennae twitched with worry. As Zaxlor's ship entered Earth's atmosphere, he saw fluffy white clouds. Then he saw land. His eyes grew wide. There were so many tall buildings. They reached up to the sky like shiny metal trees. Zaxlor had never seen anything like it. His ship landed in a big open space. Humans in fancy clothes stood nearby. Zaxlor took a deep breath and opened his ship's door. He stepped out on wobbly legs. A tall human with a big smile walked up to Zaxlor. "Welcome to Earth," the human said loudly. Zaxlor jumped a little. Human voices were so deep. Thank you," Zaxlor squeaked. He tried to stand up straight and look important, but he felt very small next to the tall human. The human held out a flat, round thing. It smelled good. "Would you like some pizza?" the human asked. Zaxlor blinked in confusion. "Pizza," he repeated slowly. The human laughed. "It's food. Very tasty. Try it." Zaxlor carefully took the pizza. He sniffed it. Then he took a small bite. His eyes lit up. It was delicious. Cheese, tomato sauce, and something called pepperoni exploded with flavor in his mouth. Zaxlor quickly ate the whole slice. The humans seemed happy that Zaxlor liked their food. They led him to a big, shiny car. Zaxlor had studied Earth vehicles, but seeing one up close was amazing. It was so sleek and fast-looking. As they drove through the city, Zaxlor's head spun left and right. He tried to look at everything at once. There were so many colors, so many strange things to see. People walked by in all kinds of clothes. Some had hair in crazy colors: blue, pink, green. Zaxlor saw shops selling things he'd never imagined. One place had rows and rows of shoes. Another had only hats. Why did humans need so many different things to wear? Suddenly, a loud noise made Zaxlor jump. Music was blasting from a nearby building. The beat was fast and exciting. Zaxlor felt his foot tapping along without meaning to. "What's that sound?" he asked the human next to him. "That's rock music," the human explained. "Do you like it?" Zaxlor nodded eagerly. "It makes me want to move." The humans laughed and turned up the music in the car. Soon, Zaxlor was bobbing his head and waving his arms. He'd never had so much fun. As they drove, Zaxlor saw even more amazing things. Giant screens on buildings showed moving pictures. Parks had green grass and trees where people relaxed. And the vehicles. Cars, buses, and something called motorcycles zoomed by in all shapes and sizes. Zaxlor's mind was racing. These humans were so different from what he expected. They seemed fun and friendly. But they also had all this amazing technology. How could they build such tall buildings? How did they make such fast vehicles? The Galactic Confederation had always thought humans were simple creatures. But now Zaxlor wasn't so sure. There seemed to be so much more to them. As the car stopped at a red light, Zaxlor saw something that made him gasp. A huge ship was flying overhead. It wasn't like his small diplomat ship. This thing was massive, with giant engines and a sleek design. "Tali, what's that?" Zaxlor asked, pointing up. The human looked where Zaxlor was pointing. "Oh, that's just a passenger plane. For people to travel long distances." Zaxlor's mouth fell open. Just a passenger plane. It looked more advanced than some Confederation ships. The car started moving again, but Zaxlor's mind was stuck on that plane. If humans had ships like that just for carrying people, what else might they have? What kind of ships did they use for other things? Zaxlor felt a mix of excitement and worry. He had come to Earth thinking he'd meet simple beings. Now he realized there was so much more to learn about humans. They were weird, yes, but they were also wonderful, and maybe a little scary. As they arrived at a big building where Zaxlor would stay, he made a decision. He would learn everything he could about these fascinating humans, and he would be very, very careful about what he reported back to the Galactic Confederation. Zaxlor's mission was just beginning, and he had a feeling it was going to be full of surprises, hidden powers. Zaxlor woke up feeling excited. It was his second day on Earth. The humans were going to show him a normal home today. He wondered what surprises he would find. A shiny car picked him up. Zaxlor still couldn't believe how smooth and fast these Earth vehicles were. They drove out of the big city. Soon, they reached a quiet area with many small houses. The car stopped in front of a blue house. It looked nice, but not very special. Zaxlor followed his human guide to the door. A friendly woman opened the door. "Welcome," she said with a big smile. "I'm Sarah. Come in." Zaxlor stepped inside. He looked around with wide eyes. There were so many strange things. Soft chairs, colorful pictures on the walls, and glowing screens everywhere. Sarah showed Zaxlor around the house. In the kitchen, she pressed a button on a big box. It made a humming noise. "This is a microwave," Sarah explained. "It heats food very fast." Zaxlor was amazed. Such quick food preparation, but he tried not to show his surprise. He didn't want the humans to know how advanced he thought they were. Next, they went to the living room. A big flat screen covered one wall. Sarah picked up a small device and pressed a button. The screen came to life with bright colors and moving pictures. "This is our TV," Sarah said. "We can watch shows, movies, and get news from all over the world." Zaxlor nodded, trying to look calm. But inside, he was shocked. The humans could see things happening anywhere on their planet. That was incredible. Then Sarah's son, Tom, came into the room. He was carrying something in his hands. It looked like a small computer, but with buttons on the sides. "Hi," Tom said to Zaxlor. "Want to play a video game?" Zaxlor tilted his head. "Video game?" he asked. Tom grinned. "Yeah, it's super fun. Look." He turned on the device. The TV screen changed. Now it showed a view of space. There were stars everywhere. Zaxlor gasped. It looked so real. Tom started to play. He controlled a spaceship on the screen. It flew through space, dodging asteroids and shooting at enemy ships. The graphics were amazing. The ships looked just like real ones Zaxlor had seen in space. "Can I try?" Zaxlor asked, his curiosity getting the better of him. Tom handed him the controller. Zaxlor's hand shook a little as he took it. He pressed the buttons carefully. To his surprise, Zaxlor found the game easy to play. The ship moved just like he thought a real ship would. The weapons worked exactly right. It was all so accurate. As he played, Zaxlor's mind raced. How did humans know so much about space travel? This game was too realistic. The ships moved in ways that matched real space physics. The weapons were like actual space weapons he had seen. Zaxlor glanced at Tom and Sarah. They were smiling, watching him play. They didn't seem to think the game was anything special, but to Zaxlor, it was shocking. He thought about the report he would have to write. Should he tell the Galactic Confederation about this game? Would they believe that humans had such detailed knowledge of space? Zaxlor played for a while longer. Then Sarah said it was time for lunch. They went to the kitchen. Sarah opened another big box. A refrigerator, she called it. Cold air came out. Inside were many kinds of food, all kept fresh. As they ate sandwiches, Zaxlor couldn't stop thinking about the game. He looked around the normal house. Everything seemed simple at first, but now he saw hidden power everywhere. The microwave could heat food in seconds. The TV could show anything happening on the planet. And that game, it showed that humans understood space very, very well. After lunch, Tom asked if Zaxlor wanted to play more games. Zaxlor said yes right away. He wanted to see what other secrets these games might reveal. They played for hours. Each game showed more of humanity's hidden knowledge. There were games about building cities, managing resources, and even running whole planets. By the end of the day, Zaxlor's head was spinning. This normal human home had shown him so much. Humans weren't just good at building tall buildings or making fast cars. They had deep knowledge of things like space travel, planet management, and advanced technology. As Zaxlor left the house, he felt very confused. He had come to Earth thinking humans were simple. Now he saw that they had great power hidden in everyday things. Zaxlor looked back at the blue house as his car drove away. It looked so normal from the outside. But inside, it had changed everything he thought about humans. He knew one thing for sure. His mission on Earth was going to be much more complicated than he had ever imagined. The big surprise. Zaxlor was feeling more confused than ever. It was his third day on Earth, and the humans kept surprising him. Today, they told him they were going to a car show. Zaxlor thought he knew what cars were, the fast-moving things on roads. But he was about to get the biggest shock of his life. The humans drove Zaxlor to a huge building. It looked like a giant box made of metal. There were no windows, just one big door. Zaxlor's antenna twitched nervously. Something felt different about this place. "Ready for the car show?" asked John, Zaxlor's human guide. Zaxlor nodded, trying to look excited. But inside, he felt strange. Why would they keep cars in such a big, secret-looking place? John pressed a button. The huge door started to open slowly. Zaxlor's eyes grew wider and wider as he saw what was inside. It wasn't cars. Not at all. Inside the giant building were spaceships. Huge, powerful spaceships. They were bigger than anything Zaxlor had ever seen. Some were sleek and fast-looking. Others were massive, covered in what looked like powerful weapons. Zaxlor's mouth fell open. He couldn't speak. He couldn't even move. This was impossible. John laughed at Zaxlor's reaction. "Surprise. Not the car show you were expecting, huh?" Zaxlor could only shake his head. His whole body was shaking. How? How did humans have ships like this? John started walking into the building. Zaxlor followed on wobbly legs. As they got closer to the ships, Zaxlor could see more details, and each detail made him more amazed and more scared. The first ship they came to was long and thin. It had strange markings on the side. "This is our fastest scout ship," John explained. "It can go faster than light speed." Zaxlor's jaw dropped even more. Faster than light. Even the Galactic Confederation was still working on that technology. They moved to the next ship. It was huge and round, with many doors on the sides. "This is a colony ship," said John. "It can carry 10,000 people to start a new life on another planet." Zaxlor felt dizzy. Humans were already planning to live on other planets. This was too much. But it wasn't over. John took Zaxlor to the biggest ship in the building. It was massive, dark, and covered in what Zaxlor now knew were very big guns. "And this," John said with pride, "is our main battle cruiser. It can fight off a whole fleet of enemy ships." Zaxlor's legs gave out. He sat down hard on the floor. Enemy ships, battles. Who were the humans planning to fight? As Zaxlor sat there, trying to breathe, more humans came into the big room. They were all smiling, looking proud of their ships. One of them, a woman in a fancy uniform, came up to Zaxlor. "So, what do you think of our little fleet?" she asked. Zaxlor looked up at her. He tried to speak, but no words came out. Little fleet. This was the most powerful group of ships he had ever seen. The woman helped Zaxlor stand up. "Don't worry," she said kindly. "We're not planning to use these for war. They're for exploring and protecting our people." Zaxlor nodded weakly, but his mind was racing. If humans had ships this powerful just for exploring, what else might they have? For the next hour, The humans showed Zaxlor around the car show. They explained how each ship worked. They showed him the powerful engines, the strong shields, and the advanced computers that ran everything. With each new thing he saw, Zaxlor felt more and more overwhelmed. The humans had technology that the Galactic Confederation had only dreamed of, and they acted like it was no big deal. As they were leaving the big building, John turned to Zaxlor. "So still think we should join your Galactic Confederation?" he asked with a smile. Zaxlor didn't know what to say. He had come to Earth thinking he would invite humans to join the Confederation. Now, he wasn't sure if the Confederation was ready for humans. That night, in his room, Zaxlor sat for a long time, thinking. He had to write a report to his bosses. But what should he say? If he told them about the human ships, they might get scared. They might think humans were dangerous. But if he didn't tell them, he wouldn't be doing his job. And humans might surprise the Confederation later, which could be even worse. Zaxlor looked out his window at the Earth City. It looked so normal, with its tall buildings and fast cars. But now he knew that behind that normal look was great power. He made a decision. He would tell his bosses everything. But he would also tell them that humans seemed peaceful. They had powerful ships, yes, but they wanted to explore, not fight. As Zaxlor started to write his report, he realized something. His mission had changed. Now, he wasn't here to invite humans to join the Confederation. He was here to help the Confederation understand this powerful, surprising race called humans. Zaxlor looked at the Earth City one more time. Then he began to type, wondering what other big surprises humans might have for him tomorrow. Panic call. Zaxlor couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned all night, thinking about the huge spaceships he had seen. As soon as the sun came up, he knew he had to call his bosses. They needed to know about the humans' power right away. With shaky hands, Zaxlor set up his secret communication device. It looked like a normal Earth laptop, but it could send messages across the galaxy. He took a deep breath and pressed the call button. After a few beeps, a big purple alien face appeared on the screen. It was Groknar, Zaxlor's boss at the Galactic Confederation. "Zaxlor, why are you calling so early? Is everything okay?" Groknar asked, looking worried. Zaxlor tried to stay calm, but words started pouring out of him. "Boss, you won't believe what I've seen. The humans, they're not what we thought at all." Groknar's eyes widened. "Slow down, Zaxlor. What do you mean?" Zaxlor took a deep breath. "The humans, they have spaceships. Big ones. Really big ones." Groknar laughed. "Oh, is that all? We knew they had some small ships for going to their moon. Don't worry about." "No," Zaxlor interrupted. He never interrupted his boss, but this was too important. "Not small ships. Huge ships, bigger than ours, with weapons and super-fast engines. And... Zaxlor was talking so fast, he started to hiccup. Groknar looked confused. "Zaxlor, calm down. You're not making sense. Humans are just simple apes. They can't have ships like that." Zaxlor shook his head hard. "But they do. I saw them. They have ships that can go faster than light. They have ships that can fight whole fleets. They even have ships to start colonies on other planets." Now Groknar was starting to look worried. "Are you sure about this, Zaxlor? Maybe you misunderstood something." "No misunderstanding," Zaxlor squeaked. He was so excited and scared. His voice was getting higher. "They showed me everything. And they acted like it was no big deal." Groknar's purple face turned a lighter shade. He looked scared now too. This can't be right. If humans have ships like that, they could be dangerous. They could attack us." Zaxlor shook his head again. No. They seem nice. They said the ships are for exploring and protecting themselves. But they're so powerful." Groknar was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "What else have you seen, Zaxlor? Tell me everything." So Zaxlor told him. He talked about the tall buildings and fast cars. He described the amazing technology in everyday homes. He explained about the video games that showed deep knowledge of space. As he talked, Zaxlor got more and more worked up. His antennae were waving wildly. "And they have this thing called pizza. It's so good, but that's not important. What's important is that humans are way more advanced than we thought." Groknar listened to everything. His face got more and more serious. When Zaxlor finally stopped talking, Groknar was quiet for a long time. "This is very bad news, Zaxlor," he said at last. "If humans are this powerful, they could take over the whole galaxy." Zaxlor felt confused. "But they seemed so nice. They've been friendly to me." Groknar shook his big purple head. "That's how they trick you. They act nice, then bam, they attack when you least expect it." "But," Zaxlor started to say. "No buts," Groknar interrupted. "We need to act fast. I'm calling an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. We need to decide what to do about these humans." Zaxlor felt scared. This wasn't what he wanted. He just wanted to tell his boss what he had seen. He didn't want to start trouble. "What? What are you going to do?" Zaxlor asked in a small voice. Groknar's face looked very serious. "We might have to attack Earth first, before the humans can attack us." Zaxlor gasped. "No, you can't. The humans aren't bad. They—" "Enough, Zaxlor," Groknar said. "You've done your job. You've warned us. Now let the Council handle this. Keep watching the humans and tell us if you see anything else dangerous." Before Zaxlor could say anything more, Groknar ended the call. The screen went black. Zaxlor sat there, feeling terrible. He had only wanted to do his job and tell the truth. But now he might have started a war. He looked out the window at the busy Earth city. People were going about their day, not knowing that far away, aliens were talking about attacking them. Zaxlor knew he had to do something. But what? He was just a small diplomat. How could he stop a war? As he watched the humans outside, Zaxlor made a decision. He would find a way to show the Galactic Confederation that humans were good. He had to, or else his panic call might lead to something terrible. Zaxlor stood up, his legs shaky but his mind made up. He had a new mission now, to save Earth and stop a galactic war. He just hoped he wasn't too late. The space race. Zaxlor was in big trouble. He had told his bosses about the humans' powerful ships, and now the Galactic Confederation was scared. They were sending a huge fleet to Earth to check things out. Zaxlor knew he had to warn the humans, but how? As Zaxlor was thinking hard, his human friend John burst into the room. "Zaxlor, you need to come see this." John looked excited and worried at the same time. They rushed outside. In the sky, Zaxlor saw something that made his heart skip a beat. A big group of Confederation ships was entering Earth's atmosphere. "What are those?" John asked, pointing up. Zaxlor gulped. "Those are my people's ships. I think they came because of what I told them about your fleet." John's eyes went wide. "You told them? Why?" "It's my job," Zaxlor said, feeling ashamed. "I didn't know they would react like this." Suddenly, alarms started blaring all over the city. Humans were running around, looking scared and confused. Then, a loud voice came from speakers everywhere. "Attention all citizens. This is not a drill. Unknown spacecraft have entered Earth airspace. Please remain calm and follow emergency procedures." John grabbed Zaxlor's arm. "We need to get to the command center. Maybe we can stop this from turning into a fight." They jumped into John's car and raced through the city. As they drove, Zaxlor saw more Confederation ships appearing in the sky. There were so many. When they reached the command center, it was chaos. Humans in uniforms were running around, shouting orders. Big screens showed the alien ships getting closer and closer to Earth. A tall woman in a fancy uniform approached them. "John, who's this with you?" she asked, looking at Zaxlor. "This is Zaxlor, the alien diplomat," John explained quickly. "He knows about those ships." The woman's eyes narrowed. "Is that so? Well, Zaxlor, you better start explaining fast." Zaxlor's antennae drooped. He told them everything. About his mission, his report to his bosses, and why the Confederation ships were here. The woman listened, her face getting more serious with each word. When Zaxlor finished, she turned to her team. "Launch the fleet. Now." Zaxlor's eyes went wide. "No, please, we don't need to fight." But it was too late. On the big screens, Zaxlor saw Earth's huge spaceships rising into the sky. They looked even more impressive than when he first saw them in the hangar. The Earth ships flew up, forming a big line in front of the Confederation fleet. For a moment, everything was quiet. The two fleets just floated there, facing each other in space. Zaxlor held his breath. Would they start shooting at each other? Then something unexpected happened. One of the Earth ships moved forward slowly. It didn't look like it was attacking. Instead, it started flashing its lights in a pattern. "What are they doing?" Zaxlor asked, confused. John grinned. "It's Morse code, an old Earth way of sending messages with light. They're trying to talk to your people." Zaxlor watched in amazement as the Earth ship kept flashing its lights. After a few minutes, one of the Confederation ships started flashing back. "They're talking." Zaxlor squeaked excitedly. "What are they saying?" The humans in the command center worked fast to decode the messages. As they read out the conversation, Zaxlor's fear turned to hope. The Earth ship was inviting the Confederation fleet to a space parade. They wanted to show off their ships in a friendly way, not a scary one. At first, the Confederation ships seemed confused. But then, slowly, they started to form a line next to the Earth fleet. What happened next was amazing. The two fleets began to fly together, doing loops and twists in space. It looked like a beautiful dance among the stars. Everyone in the command center cheered. The scary situation had turned into something wonderful. As Zaxlor watched the space parade, he felt happy and relieved. The humans had found a way to make friends instead of enemies. They showed that they were powerful, but also kind and smart. John patted Zaxlor on the back. "See, we didn't want to fight. We just wanted to say hello." Zaxlor nodded, smiling big. He realized that humans were even more amazing than he thought. They could have fought, but they chose to make peace instead. As the space parade continued, Zaxlor knew that things would be different now. The Galactic Confederation would see that humans were not a threat, but a great new friend. Zaxlor looked at the beautiful display of ships dancing in space. He felt proud to be part of this historic moment. The space race had turned into a space party, and everyone was invited. Oops, my bad. The space parade was going great. Earth ships and Confederation ships were flying together, doing cool tricks in space. Everyone thought the scary part was over. But they were wrong. Zaxlor was watching from the Earth Command Center with his human friend John. Suddenly, a message came from the Confederation fleet. "Attention Earth ships. This is Admiral Blorg of the Galactic Confederation. We will now show you our power. Do not be afraid." Zaxlor's antennae shot straight up. "Oh no," he squeaked. "They're going to do a fake attack." "What?" John looked worried. "Why would they do that?" "It's an old Confederation trick," Zaxlor explained quickly. "They pretend to attack to scare new races. But don't worry, it's just for show. They won't really shoot." John didn't look happy. "That's a dangerous game to play. We should warn our ships." But before they could do anything, the Confederation ships started to move. They formed a big triangle shape and flew straight at the Earth fleet. Everyone in the command center held their breath. The Confederation ships got closer and closer. They looked very scary. Then, at the last second, The Confederation ships were supposed to turn away, but something went wrong. Boom! One of the Confederation ships hit another by accident. Oops, Zaxlor said in a tiny voice. The hit Confederation ship started spinning out of control. It was heading right for a group of Earth ships. Oh no! Zaxlor covered his eyes. He couldn't watch. But then something amazing happened. The Earth ships didn't run away. Instead, they flew towards the spinning Confederation ship. Zaxlor peeked through his fingers. He saw Earth ships shooting strange beams at the spinning ship, but they weren't weapon beams. They were catching beams. Tractor beams, John shouted excitedly. We're saving them. Zaxlor watched in wonder as the Earth ships used their tractor beams to stop the spinning Confederation ship. They held it gently, like a baby. More Earth ships flew over. They started fixing the damaged Confederation ship right there in space. The command center was full of cheers. Humans were high-fiving each other and hugging. Zaxlor felt confused. I don't understand, he said to John. The Confederation tried to scare you. They messed up and almost crashed into you. Why are you helping them? John smiled. Because it's the right thing to do, Zaxlor. When someone's in trouble, you help them, even if they were trying to scare you before. Zaxlor's mouth fell open. Humans were even nicer than he thought. On the big screen, they could see Confederation aliens coming out of the damaged ship. They floated over to the Earth ships, even from far away. Zaxlor could tell they looked very thankful. Then another message came from Admiral Blorg. Earth Fleet, we are sorry. We acted foolishly. You have shown us great kindness. We are in your debt. The head of the Earth Fleet replied, No debt, friends. We're just glad everyone's okay. Now, how about we continue our parade? This time, let's fly together, not at each other. Everyone laughed. The space parade started again, but now it was different. Earth ships and Confederation ships flew side by side. They weren't trying to look scary or powerful anymore. They were just having fun together. As Zaxlor watched, he felt something warm in his chest. He realized it was pride. He was proud of the humans for being so kind and brave, and he was proud of his own people for admitting their mistake. John put a hand on Zaxlor's shoulder. See, sometimes a little accident can lead to big friendship. Zaxlor nodded. You humans are amazing, he said. You turned a big oops into a big hooray. Just then, another message came from space. It was from both fleets together. Hey down there, who wants to join us for a space picnic? The command center erupted in cheers again. John grinned at Zaxlor. What do you say, buddy? Ready for your first space picnic? Zaxlor's antennae wiggled happily. Yes, he squeaked. But can we bring pizza? Everyone laughed. As they got ready to join the space picnic, Zaxlor thought about how this day had turned out. It started with a scary mistake, but it was ending with a big party. He realized that sometimes saying, oops, my bad, and being kind could change everything. Humans had taught him that. And now, humans and aliens were going to eat pizza in space together. Zaxlor couldn't wait to tell his bosses about this. The Galactic Confederation had a lot to learn from Earth, and he was happy to be the one to teach them. Best friends forever. The space picnic was the best party Zaxlor had ever been to. Humans and aliens were floating around, eating pizza and telling jokes. Everyone was having so much fun that they decided to make the party last for days. As the party went on, humans and aliens started to share stories. They talked about their home planets, their favorite foods, and their funniest mistakes. Zaxlor was amazed at how quickly everyone became friends. One day, a human scientist named Sarah had a great idea. Hey, why don't we start a galactic pizza delivery service? She said. We can share Earth's best food with the whole galaxy. The aliens loved this idea. They had never tasted anything like pizza before. Admiral Blorg, who had tried to scare the humans before, was now addicted to pepperoni pizza. Yes, he shouted, his tentacles waving excitedly. "We must share this pizza with everyone." So, humans and aliens worked together to build special pizza ovens that could work in space. They designed super-fast delivery ships that could keep the pizza hot even on long trips across the galaxy. Zaxlor watched all this with big eyes. He couldn't believe how fast humans and aliens were becoming friends, and it was all because of food. As the galactic pizza service grew, something funny happened. Zaxlor became a famous food critic. He traveled around the galaxy, trying pizzas made with weird alien toppings. Then he wrote funny reviews that made everyone laugh. "Today I tried pizza with Zorgon slime moss," he wrote in one review. "It was so stretchy, I thought I'd never stop chewing. But the taste was out of this world." 5 stars. Humans and aliens alike loved reading Zaxlor's reviews. He became known as the Pizza Prince of the Galaxy. Zaxlor felt proud. He had come to Earth as a scared diplomat, and now he was helping bring the galaxy together. But the pizza service wasn't the only good thing that came from the space party. Humans and aliens started to share their technology too. Humans taught the aliens how to make better spaceships and cool gadgets. The aliens shared their knowledge about faraway planets and strange space creatures. Together, they built amazing new things. They made ships that could travel faster than anyone thought possible. They created special suits that let them explore dangerous planets safely. One day, a group of human and alien scientists made a big announcement. They had found a way to talk to plants and animals. "We combined Earth's animal language studies with alien plant communication tech," they explained. "Now we can chat with any living thing in the galaxy." Everyone was so excited. Now they could make friends with even more beings in space. As all these wonderful things were happening, Zaxlor's bosses at the Galactic Confederation were watching. They were amazed at how well humans and aliens were getting along. "We were so wrong about humans," they said. "They're not dangerous at all. They're the best friends we could have asked for." The Galactic Confederation decided to make Earth a special member. They called Earth the friendship capital of the galaxy. Humans were happy to accept this title. They started hosting big parties where beings from all over the galaxy could come to make friends. These parties were even bigger and more fun than the first space picnic. Zaxlor was busier than ever. He was always traveling between Earth and other planets, helping to make new friendships. But he was never too busy to try a new kind of pizza or write a funny review. One day, as Zaxlor was sitting in a space cafe, eating a slice of Mars dust pizza, he thought about how much had changed. He remembered how scared he had been when he first came to Earth. Now he couldn't imagine life without his human friends. Just then, his human friend John walked in. "Hey, Pizza Prince," John said with a big smile. "Ready for our next adventure?" Zaxlor's antennae wiggled happily. "You bet," he said. "Where are we going this time?" John's eyes twinkled. "How about we visit that planet where the rocks sing? I heard they make a mean rock and roll pizza." Zaxlor jumped up, excited. "Let's go. I can't wait to hear what singing rocks taste like on pizza." As they headed out to their ship, Zaxlor felt a warm, happy feeling. This was what being best friends forever was all about. Sharing adventures, trying new things, and always being there for each other. Zaxlor looked out at the stars as their ship took off. The galaxy seemed so much friendlier now. And it was all because humans had shown everyone how to turn fear into friendship and mistakes into chances to be kind. As they zoomed towards the singing rock planet, Zaxlor smiled. He couldn't wait to see what fun surprises the galaxy had in store for them next. Whatever it was, he knew that with his human best friends by his side, it would be amazing. The end, or maybe just the beginning of a whole new set of galactic adventures.